My name's Christian, which is a long name to write by hand, so I used to write it X-I-A-N, and I kind of like had this experimental project that was like sort of sub-breaks going on, and I needed a name for it, so I just shortened it to X-I, and then it just kind of took off from there. I mean, truth be told, I was in bands all through high school. I was a drummer in a couple of punk bands, just, you know, jam styles and in garages and whatnot, and that would have been my first foray into like really making and writing music with people. But I started putting ideas to computers probably around 2001. The editing was what like really got me into the whole idea of putting a track together. I was tutored by a friend of mine when I was younger in Reason, and so that was where I learned the foundations of parameters on synthesizers and stuff like that. I couldn't get ideas down like I wanted to, like the way that I wanted to, so when I was introduced to Ableton, I felt the creative flow worked a little bit better. I mean, it's really simple, you know. I have a lot of bass patches that I've designed over the years. I use a lot of samples, a lot of samples. I make quite a few field recordings and home Foley recordings as well that I like to incorporate into my tracks. I did a track called Unfair, and the entirety of the track, somebody called my phone from a coffee shop, but it was a pocket call, and the message on the answering machine was like half an hour long. And so I mic'd up my phone. This was before I had like a smartphone, and I mic'd up my phone and just like recorded the whole thing, and underneath the entire track is just the sound of this guy calling me from a coffee shop and like him like ordering his coffee and stuff like that. But I EQ'd it, sidechained it under the drums to the degree that you can't really tell it's there, but it kind of adds this really interesting, weird, grainy, like dynamic, kind of organic, like backing atmosphere to the whole track. My first gig, I was about 17 years old, and I had been booked to play at a rave in Toronto called Dark Rave, which had been running for quite a long time at a pretty popular venue downtown. Me and the guy who taught me how to use Reason had a collaborative drum and bass DJ project called the Metacons, and I wasn't even legally old enough to be in the club. There's a picture from that gig that I have on like a 4.5 by 7 or whatever. I look at that picture sometimes, I'm like, who is this guy, you know what I mean? I generally only collaborate with people in the same room. A lot of people like to do the send files over the internet thing, which I have done. I did a track with DJ G from San Francisco. Obviously, we live on completely opposite sides of the continent, so we had to do it over the internet, which was fine because with somebody like him, I feel like I can really trust him to take it in a direction that I won't have to be sitting there and, you know, watching him do it. Working with Bombama's always been fun. It's been a very lack of seriousness in the studio with him, which I always like, and I mean, our personalities obviously mesh pretty well, so it's a very safe environment. I've recently been doing some collaborations with an artist called Kevin McPhee, who's just coming up from Toronto. That stuff's been really cool too. He's on a completely different tip from anybody else I've ever worked with, so that's probably been the most recent exciting collaboration to see how our two styles can mesh together, and we've been coming up with some pretty exciting stuff. If you're going to be releasing music and that's part of what you want to do, because that's not necessarily part of everybody's plan, right? But you need to have a plan if that's something that you want to do, and you really need to sort of stick to your ideas on how you want to have yourself represented. I was very, very adamant about vinyl DJing for a long time, so part of my stipulation when it comes to a release is that there has to be a vinyl portion of it, because I worked in record stores for years, and I really, really believe in the format. I think it sounds great, and there's just something sort of romantic about having that artifact, having that piece of you know, like it literally is a physical manifestation of the music, and it feels more so than a CD because you know, it's in the grooves. It's not like just a digital imprint on an optical thing. I don't mind digital. I like digital. Digital, usually in this market, it pays for the vinyl, because vinyl is, you know, sales are always kind of an iffy area. If you have the confidence to put your stuff out there for free, it's always great exposure. Do a combination of all three. If you don't really care about vinyl being out there and it's not something that you care that much about, it might be more hassle than it's worth. Personally, for me, I think it's really important, so I like to have that portion of things. But I mean, advice for anybody out there would be, it doesn't matter what you put it out on, just get it out there and, you know, have a plan for how you want to have yourself represented, and you'll be fine. feel like sort of with what's popular right now, it's kind of a breath of fresh air to get something for the girls out there, you know what I mean? Because a lot of it's just headbang, aggro, like straight ahead, not too much soul to it. And I just like to bring something different to the table, and not for any particular reason, it's just like what I feel, you know? I like pads and like, you know, modal synths and stuff like that. Even, you know, your most entry-level listener or experiencer of music or art can sort of spot a faker from a mile away. And if you're not doing your own thing, it's gonna kind of stifle your project a lot. It'll feel like you're not coming with 100% of your creative vision. And ultimately, people want to hear new ideas and new sounds, and the only way that that's ever gonna get out there is if people's, you know, wacky ideas come to the surface. So just have confidence in your creative vision and just stick to it, and don't let other people influence how you want to do things. Smooth jams are always part of the plan, man.
Welcome to Dubspot. We believe in providing you hands-on experience right away. Whether you're completely new to music and want to turn the sounds in your head into a musical reality, or you're an experienced artist looking to refine your skills and add new tools to your arsenal, we're ready to meet you at your level. For students of all ages, all levels, and all styles of music, Dubspot is here to help you achieve your goals. With course offerings both online wherever you are and at our school in the heart of New York City, we are ready to guide you through the next phase of your musical transformation. Whether you want to produce music, DJ, or do both, you've come to the right place. Come explore Dubspot for yourself, become a part of our community, and make music.